Okay. So, as I said, this blog is for people who want to come and live in Japan, and then Japanese who want to get to know foreigners a little better. And I think you are one of the best people who can help bridge that gap. Yeah. So maybe we can begin by your telling us a little bit about your background and your connection to Japan.
Okay, so I'm half Japanese, half Chinese, half Chinese Malaysian. I was born in Singapore, and I also lived in Malaysia and Australia and the United States. When I was 13, I came to Japan. So junior high and high school, I was in Japan, and a little bit of university.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience in junior high and elementary school. How was it?
To be honest, it was horrible.
Also.
I think it's because it was very difficult coming from a place with more like Malaysia, but I went to British international school, and it was more a culture where it wasn't as strict as Japan. So living here, suddenly coming to a culture that's very strict and very different as a teenager was very very stressful for me. So for example, like my hairband, the color of my hairband has to be black, and that really confuses me because pink, blue, why does it matter to my academic, right?
So this was a school rule?
School rule, yeah, school rule. Or even with friends, usually when I was in Malaysia, I would just go to the restroom by myself, but when I would go to the restroom, my friend would be like, I'll go with you. And I'm like, do you need to go? And she's like, no, but I'll go with you. And that really puzzled me. So things like that, like in Japanese, there's this word, tsuresho, is like you take your friend to the restroom together, even if you don't have to go. So things like that, a lot of things puzzled me, confused me, and it was really stressful just suddenly living here. Yeah.
Did it get better?
It got better, but I think it was just too much of a change for me that I've always wanted to study abroad. So when I was in high school, I wanted to study abroad, but my father said I was too young, so I went to university in Japan first, but I decided to study abroad. So
what did you study in university in Japan?
In Japan, I didn't have a major. It was called Comparative Culture, Department of Comparative Culture in Sophia University. So I didn't choose my major yet. Yeah.
And how was university life in Japan?
University life, it was fun, but not what I expected.
Okay. Why?
I thought it would be more, a lot more studying, a lot more, yeah. But I guess it's more like you study more in order to get into university. And for me, I prefer studying more in university, or that's what I expected.
Right.
So that's why I decided to study abroad.
Okay,
yeah.
and where did you study abroad?
I went to California, so I went to De Anza College, a community college first, and then transferred to UCLA, a four-year college, and studied sociology.
And how was the experience over there compared to Japan?
It was good. It was very good, but now you have to study a lot.
Yes. A real university.
So it's like, what do you want, right? You're complaining that you're not studying.
Enough.
It's not too competitive for you. Now you have to study a lot, so it's
too competitive now.
No, it was good. Actually, academically, I was very satisfied, so it was good. Yeah, and I really like living in the United States, so that was a good experience. Yeah.
And then did you come to Japan right after?
No, then I worked at a Japanese production TV company first, and then after that I worked for Ajinomoto USA, so in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And then I came back to Japan and became a teacher.
Okay, so what was the impetus for coming back to Japan?
Well, I got when I was in Ajinomoto, I was a salesperson.
Okay.
So we had to drive a lot. So I got into a really bad car accident. Yeah. So and I had PTSD and panic attack. So my mother said, let's go back to Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then actually I started to be a teacher as a kind of a rehabilitation process. Something I could because I speak English and it's higher pay than other jobs and it's not stressful. But then what was unexpected was that I realized I really like teaching and it's like my passion. So at the beginning it was kind of like I speak English, the pay isn't that bad, so and my doctor said I should work, so that was the reason why I became a teacher in the beginning. But now it's I do it because
Something
I
you
love it.
really love. Yeah. Okay, so who do you teach? What kind of students do you teach?
Mainly, I teach a variety, but right now mainly I teach 18, 19, 20-year-old. I teach at a vocational school.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the side, I teach privately, so that ranges from adults to children, mostly adults. And then I also do business English, so I get dispatched to companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the vocational school students. What is the general attitude of these students?
The general attitude is they don't want to study. They don't want to study. The motivation is low. Is the general attitude, but they do the work because the school I work for is actually very demanding.
Okay.
I was surprised as a vocational school. It's extremely demanding. So they have a lot to do and. It prepares them for the society. So after they graduate, it prepares them for the work they have to do. So it's a really good school. Yeah.
And for private students, what do they usually want to learn?
Usually, it really depends on the student. So I try to customize it for the students. So some students just want free talk and just want to relax. Some students really want to study like ACAN or the test prep. Some students just want to study English when they travel, so travel English. So it really depends on the students.
Okay, and the business students?
The business students, usually I get dispatched to companies, so mostly low to intermediate. It depends on the company I go to, but sometimes it's one-on-one, and most of the time it's group lessons, small group lessons. So it could range from telephone English, business English, to presentation, negotiation. It ranges.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, you mentioned you work for that's from a Japanese company, right? That does the dispatching?
Yes.
How is it working with a Japanese company?
It's a bit different than a complete Japanese company because usually the supervisor is a foreigner.
Okay.
So it is a Japanese company, but the people I contact with and talk to, I work with different companies who dispatch me, but they're all the supervisors are all foreigners.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about some of your interests. First, let's begin with any hobbies.
Hobbies. I
Or
love.
what do you do for fun?
I love watching movies, so Netflix, and I like watching movies, and I love to travel.
Okay.
And my recent hobby is playing with my niece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for those, some people really love Japanese food. Do you have a favorite Japanese food?
Favorite Japanese food? I like sushi, shabu shabu. I love food in general, so anything that's good is good.
Okay. And what about places to go in Tokyo? Do you have any places you recommend?
As in restaurants or?
Restaurants or just places for fun?
places for fun. For example, if you're a tourist and you've never been to Japan, definitely Asakusa, Meiji Jingu, Harajuku, Shinjuku, Ginza, Shinjuku. Those are the areas that you should go in Tokyo, and Skytree. And Skytree. But if you're living here, there are many restaurants that you can check on. That's what I do, Taberogu. So there's a popular cafe called Kawaii Monster Cafe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the like spaghetti is rainbow color, or so many fun things to do. Yeah.
Now, what do you tell people who say they find it difficult to interact with Japanese people?
What do I say to them?
Yeah. Any advice?
I think it would be good if they start from somewhere. Maybe find a club that you have the same interest or hobby.
Right.
So it could be an all Japanese club, or you can start with meetups. For example, there's an app called Meetup.
Okay.
And then you, for example, if you like to play basketball, you will meet up with people you don't know but play basketball. There, slowly, most of them are. Some of them are Japanese, some of them are foreigners, and slowly there you can make friends there, and then I think that's a good way to make friends through your hobbies.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about the prospects for Japan in terms of the economy?
I think hopefully, hopefully it will get better and better and better.
Right. And do you have any personal plans to continue to live in Japan?
For me, I have my family is in Japan, and for me, yes, I plan to live in Japan for forever now. Yeah.
So, any final advice you would give to people who want to come and live in Japan, or who want to come and visit here?
I think, as in any countries, initially there might be some culture shock, but it's all about getting to know each country's unique culture and values and norms. So just take it easy, take it slowly, and just enjoy each country's unique place.
Okay. How should we call you?
Liling.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.